In Godtear, we have the champions, literally infused with the power of the salty Godtears, right? Ingesting them, soaking up on their energy. Followers following these heroic champions looking for tabletop glory or to establish an empire, to be counted among the chosen, among the faithful. Utilizing followers in Godtear. That's what we're going to jump in this vlog. Now, followers, we kind of break them up into two types. I know we have 4 different warbands / factions, but they kind of break up into 2 types. The first is damage dealing types, where they go out and they try and beat on other followers or beat on champions, or what I term sacrificial followers, meaning you take one off the table or for a buff or a boon or a bane, or you get them into position and you fortify with something. They're more like tactical pieces than dealing damage. Overlaid to that, followers are used for area control. Think of them as almost like mobile terrain. Now, they can get killed and give up points, and depending on the points they give up, are they killed by a champion, yellow champions, or is a follower killing a follower? But they're a great way to potentially block off and control portions of the board, especially if you're playing missions where God tiers are going to grow and expand, or you have a warband that can manipulate God tiers. Blocking off area control is huge. And these are pieces literally that you can use to occupy hexes by staying stacked in a hex, observing number limits, of course, or dispersing over a number of hexes, especially if you're playing 2 or 3 follower groups, to throw up literally a mob of followers that someone's going to have to interact and deal with. Now, in terms of damage dealing, you could throw followers at a champion to have some extra dice to try and wound that champion. I generally, even with Slayer followers, which have slightly better attack stats, I don't want to throw up followers against just a champion in general, because the champion's going to smash them and earn points quicker and better than I'm going to earn points for killing that champion. However, if I have my followers accompanying a champion, and the champion is smashing banners, planting banners, and then in the clash phase attacking another champion, and there's followers that surround that opposing champion that also attack, that's a nice little dice pool. That's some good volume of dice that I'm going to be throwing up. So I will attack champions only if I'm supported by my own champions, 2 or 3 warbands or playing 1. Second to this, generally, yes, I will engage followers versus followers. I'll try to outnumber followers, meaning if I'm going to go on that, I don't disperse. I stay bulked up in each hex, so this way I can roll the maximum amount of dice to try and kill a follower, gain that point on the scale. It does add up every single point per turn, but the main thing for followers, those are opportunities I'm looking for. The main thing is area control. Godtear is a skirmish-based war game. It doesn't have terrain. Traditional terrain, I should say. There's no buildings and ruins and castles and rubble and trees and forests and different fortifications. The terrain, and this is the interesting part of how amazing the rule set is, the terrain is the tiers itself, with how they move, grow, occupy, and place. And the terrain is your followers. So approaching it from that perspective and leveraging it, that is the true power of followers. And one of the things that we want to be mindful of and move away from as we become more familiar with Godtear, it's not just about the champions. I mean, the champions are important. They're the focus. Planting banners, crushing banners, absolutely. But the followers are also a very, very important tactica to understand how to utilize.